Our innovative research project is on the ALP program at the Community College of Baltimore County. The Community College of Baltimore County's mission is to provide accessible, affordable, and high quality education that prepares students for transfers and career success, strengthens the regional workforce, and enriches the community. They educate nearly 65,000 people each year, and it's a multi generational and multicultural institution, serving majority low income and first generation students. CCBC is recognized as a national leader in innovative learning programs, strategies, tools, and designs for student success. Dr. Peter Adams, an English professor at CCBC, was eager to tackle remediation and student retention. He researched and created a program called the ALP Accelerated Learning Program to reduce roadblocks to college access, completion, and success. With this, he designed the program, which is nationally recognized and adopted by 222 schools nationwide. During the fall of 2007 is when he launched his first program. And this model is to accelerate the rate of academically unprepared students entering and complete college level coursework in English. Upon arrival to CCBC, students partake in the assessment test named the Acuplacer or Compass. During that time, they are told their scores and if they place in credit courses. Sadly, 80% of the students place in developmental or remedial education. These courses help students reach the skills necessary for college credit classes. The ALP program is designed for students to take English 101 and English 052 concurrently to increase retention and acceleration. Because we were so eager to learn more about the exciting innovation, we thought it would be best to take a road trip to CCBC Owens Mill campus to interview the assistant director of ALP. Take a trip with us. Upon arrival at the Community College of Baltimore County Owens Mills campus, we completed extensive research on the ALP program. Reflecting upon the program as we entered the doors, we thought on how does this program work and how are students placed? This is what happens. 8 students who place into English 052, the upper developmental writing course, are mainstreamed into English 101, with 12 high-achieving English 101 students. The 12 students serve as role models to the 8 students within the class. Immediately after the course, students enrolled in 052 change rooms and continue to work on their coursework of English 101 with the same instructor, and are provided with the resources and skills needed to succeed. The current program director is Miss Susan Gabriel and Mr. Jamie Gallagher, who we interviewed.
CCBC about 5 years ago, and at the time I had no idea what ALP was, so I came in, I got hired, they asked me if I wanted to teach in this wildly innovative, nationally recognized program. And I said, of course I do. I want to be seen as an innovator. But at the time, I thought it was probably the stupidest idea I've ever heard, because you have students who are struggling to write anyway. So it doesn't make sense I thought, to push them through in one semester. They need more time. They don't need less time. So I came in kind of as a skeptic. In the first semester, I had 8 students in the small cohort section. And at the end of the semester, I had 3 students left.
Okay.
So in one way, I was really disheartened, and I thought, I obviously didn't do a great job. But on the other hand, I thought those 3 students were some of the best writers in that class. And there was no question in my mind that they were ready to go on to 102 and do college level work, and that they didn't need more time, they needed more kind of intensive practice with writing, which is what ALP gives people. It's not, we're giving them the same amount of time, it's just delivered differently.
Okay.
So that's kind of my position. Right after that, I decided to get involved in the program as a member of the steering committee. Peter Adams let me become a program chair for the conference, and so that was exciting. And then when he left, I was able to become the co-director for a while with Susan Gabriel. So I've been in a leadership role for the last, 4.5 years with the program.
That's cool. I guess my next question would be, what about the program, what highlights of the program do you enjoy the most when it comes to ALP?
Right, as a teacher?
Yes, as a
Yeah.
teacher.
Well, before teaching ALP, I had taught some kind of standalone regular developmental classes where you have supposedly 20 students come in and you're supposed to prepare them for the 101 the next semester. And those are always very disheartening as a teacher.
Okay.
Because even the first day you don't have everybody show up. And then throughout the semester you have a lot of attrition, and the attitude of students is, why should I take this class? I'm not getting credit, which is perfectly reasonable. They're in college, they should be getting some kind of credit. So as a teacher, going into these ALP classes, the attitude of students is completely different.
Okay.
You give them college level work and they can kind of rise to the occasion, and you do retain more students and you see more students succeed. So as a teacher, you love that.
Okay.
And then also the kind of small class thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, teaching 10 students is completely different than teaching 20 students. So you get to have that one-on-one interaction, and it's a completely different animal.
So thinking about the framework of ALP, the students, is it still the students come in and do English 101 first,
Mm-hmm.
and then immediately right after that course, they go to their developmental, I think it's English 05?
Yeah,
2.
052 is what we call it, yeah.
And so they go immediately. It's almost like, what would you describe English? How would you describe English 052? Based on the video and readings, it's more of like gearing towards the student, learning a little bit more about what the student's going through, their life experiences, helping them with writing, but also the cohort model, the working as a group, collaborative working. In addition to that, I think they also talked about, they also talked about how it is to write better, knowing that, okay, you're doing English 101, what ways, when assignments are given to you, for example, if it's an essay on early learning, like early child development learning, something of that sort, helping them as far as structure, grammar, and all of that. How has that been so far?
Well, this is what we do. We go into the 101, and then directly after that you go into the 052, like you said. So to give you an example, I do a discourse community paper.
Okay.
So in 101, I will give out that assignment, and I'll explain it to everybody. I'll say they have to do an observation of a discourse community they belong to, and then say something interesting about language, and then dialogue with all these readings we've done in class.
Okay.
So I kind of explain that in the 101. Then we go into the 052, and I have those students do informal writing. So I have them, first of all, list all the groups they belong to. So they'll list maybe 5 or 10 groups they belong to, church groups and sports groups and neighborhood groups, music genres that they really like,
Okay.
and things like that. And then I'll have them do informal writing about those groups and whether they would be good fits for this assignment, and then we'll share them. So that the next class, when we come into 101, and I ask everybody, okay, what's your discourse community? Those students know what they're going to be writing about, they know what the concept is about, they have kind of a better grasp on it. So they become kind of the stars of the 101.
Okay.
And then, you know, that's one of the things I do. So that makes them more comfortable in the 101. But in terms of grammar and structure, as an English teacher, as a writing teacher, I think it's best to kind of throw students in the deep end,
Okay.
personally, and help them get out of the deep end, you know, make sure they don't drown. So I'll have them draft first, and then I'll have individual conferences with each of the students. In the 052, that's much easier. You have everybody doing some kind of work on the computer, and you pull people out individually, and you look at their grammar one-on-one. You know, you don't talk about run-on sentences to the entire class.
Okay.
But if this one student has a problem, maybe you have to, you know, show them some resources to deal with that particular issue.
And I like that. I think about the program, what I think stands out to me the most is bringing together their own life experiences and putting that a part of their academic how should I say, making that a part of the class, like their coursework, knowing that okay, our students might be going through something or struggling with something,
Right.
but how can we tap into that at the same time as tapping into
Right.
their academics? And I think that's
Absolutely.
one of the parts, and I'll say that as a mental health counselor, just looking at the student holistically.
Right. Yeah, so we do it fairly informally.
Mhm.
So we talk about the importance of non-cognitive issues and the issues, life issues, but we don't have a real structure in the program that says you have to do this as a teacher.
Okay.
But there are other places. I know Atlantic Cape Community College in New Jersey has it as part of the contract for their faculty that they're going to act as kind of counselors for their students.
Okay.
And then it's much more intentional. With us, it's more, we want you to think about these things and how they affect our students. And some people do a really good job of bringing in, I call them twofers.
Okay.
So they're all working on their writing, but they're also working on writing about their things that are stopping them from being successful as students.
Okay.
So one teacher, Linda De La Isla, has an entire series of assignments that she has the 052 students do. You know, what might derail you, and what kind of resources can you get, or you know, things of that nature.
So teachers are given a little bit more autonomy when it comes to
Mhm.
their curriculum and
yeah.
how they write it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. How did you get buy-in? Like, how was the buy-in with faculty, staff, administrators when it comes to the program?
Right. Well, when I started, it was already fairly well established.
Okay.
So I had missed some of the getting buy-in.
Okay.
When I started, there were some people who were still against it. There were some people who thought it was not a good idea and who questioned our numbers, even though the numbers came from the CCRC, and you know are very, very valid. But there were some people, some naysayers in the group, and part of what happens is that teachers who question it, they start teaching it, and they see the growth in students.
Okay.
And I think every teacher wants to see students succeed. So once you see that, it kind of hooks people.
Okay.
And then I think also it's a faculty-run, faculty-developed program. And so there's a lot of opportunities to kind of talk about where the program is and you know where it should go, and I think that helps too.
Okay.
That it's not just something coming down from on high saying
Yeah.
you have to do this.
So it's almost participating in the core, you know, in building the program.
Absolutely.
So is there still research that's continuing to go on, and what are some things that you guys are working on when it comes to the program?
Well, I think some things that come to my mind that I think we need to do is I love the fact that we have a lot of autonomy as teachers,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it would be nice if we had some kind of base work, not base work, some kind of pedagogy that we all share.
Okay.
You know, and we do have some. We talk about integrated reading and writing in our faculty training. We talk about backward design. We talk about the non-cognitive things. So those are common among all of us. But I would like to take a more kind of writing study approach.
Okay.
You know, talk more about writing and make that more general among the sections.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop it now. So the last question that I have for you is, is there any advice that you can give a doctorate student studying higher education in community college leadership when it comes to working with students?
I think the only thing I can say is that I know all of these innovations we have, the acceleration, the ALP, ACLT, they all depend on really believing in students' ability to do this college level work. So the old developmental model was really let's start down here and assume that students don't know stuff. And our students come in with a lot of knowledge that we don't acknowledge in the classroom all the time. So I think right away we have to acknowledge that they have some knowledge, give them the ability to actually reach these kind of high level thinking goals that we have for them in these programs.